everybody, and welcome to the return of the Fuel World Series. We are back. We are back here at Homestead Miami Speedway, excuse me. My name is Matt Owens. I'm going to be your commentator and producer this evening. But I will be joined tonight by a friend of the series, and hopefully more than just tonight, Jared Wakefield. Jared will be on the call tonight once he makes it here. He's currently on assignment for work, so he might be a little bit late, but he'll be joining us once he gets in. Jared will be on the call. He'll be doing play-by-play tonight. Said he wanted to join us, or he asked to join us for some races this season, and to help help him knock the rust off of his play-by-play. So we're gonna allow him to do that with us tonight. Jared is very, very knowledgeable of the IndyCar series and Indy cars in general. A little more than, definitely more than myself, I would say. But either way, welcome. It is a beautiful 79-degree day here in Miami, Florida. We have 110 laps of action in store for you guys. Green flag will be at 3 p.m. in sim, so no threat of any darkness. Even if we did, Miami's got lights. This is my first IndyCar race that I'm broadcasting. This is my favorite car in the iRacing service, though. This car, driving it in a couple leagues, made me a huge fan of IndyCar in general. Been watching the last 4 or 5 seasons, so I definitely know enough. I really enjoy driving this car, and I love it. It's my favorite car to drive in the service when I actually get to drive. But we got about 6.5 more minutes of practice here, guys. So we're just going to sit, we're going to relax, and we're going to watch some practice. We've got some new faces here that I do not recognize. So anybody that's new, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Or if your number is incorrect, I apologize. We're still working out the kinks, so bear with us. If you guys have, if you watch this back and you have any recommendations for us to help make it a little bit better, or if you have a pronunciation for your name that I butcher, please send it to me so I can make sure that I pronounce it correctly. But I do want to welcome all the new faces that I've noticed so far to Fuel. Welcome. If you're a returner, if you're returning from when we used to have the Fuel World Series back before my time here at Fuel, welcome back. So tonight we've got 2 extra sets of tires, so the guys will be able to come down and get 2 extra sets, so 3 total. Starter counting with the original set that they start with. 75% fuel, so that equates to about, what I've been told, it's about 34 laps for a fuel stint. So roughly between 32 to 36 laps for some of these guys, depending on how much they save. I've also been made aware, so here on especially Miami, the field can get pretty strung out. It can be pretty difficult to stay close due to some dirty air. It's kind of difficult to pass as well, but we are here for the action. So just there might be some pretty strung out field here during the long green flag runs, but expect both of the corner exits, so turns 2 and 4, to be a struggle for these guys at times tonight, especially once they got the heat in the tires. As Ryzen Baker gets into the wall there, the exit of turn 4. So we have quite a few people in the field tonight that also participate in our Fuel Premier Series, which is our currently we're running the Gen 4 Cup cars. So if you're new to Fuel and you're racing tonight and you watch this back, definitely feel free, come join us on Wednesday nights for a really good time. the point standings, or the point system that we're running for this season, it is a slightly modified IndyCar point system that allows for closer points per paying position. So if you're not familiar with IndyCar, they have there's a pretty big gap between each individual position in terms of points. So what we did was we narrowed that to make it a little more competitive. We also have some bonus points. We've got 1 bonus point for anybody that leads a lap, 2 bonus points for leading the most laps. So that's the only way to get 2 bonus points in this series. 1 bonus point will be awarded for the fastest lap, for pole, and for the hard charger. So hard charger is anybody that comes, or whoever gains the most positions after putting forth a an actual qualifying lap. So unfortunately, you can't just start in the back and by not qualifying and get it if you're really fast. That's not how we do it in Fuel. You got to at least put forth an effort to qualify. Jared should be joining us here in just a second, so we've got about 90 seconds left in practice. We'll watch some of these guys qualify, and we'll take a little break and come back with the grid, go through the lineup tonight before we get started. Oh man, big crash there for Evan Adams. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Wakefield has arrived. I'm going to go ahead and pull him up into the broadcast booth so he can join us. Hello, Jared. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Matt, thanks for having me on. Great to be here for the Fuel World Series. Glad to see IndyCar come back to the realms of Fuel. It's going to be an exciting race tonight for sure. And one of the classic IndyCar tracks that the real world IndyCars haven't visited in a while, the Homestead Miami Speedway. High bank, lots of grooves, drafting. Not much more you could ask for, Matt.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what these guys and girls are able to do around this track tonight. I've never actually raced here in an Indy car. This is my favorite car in the service. I'm kind of jealous of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, the IndyCar is a really good car, especially at tracks that are multi-lane like this track. It's good to see the little wings on, and I'm expecting tonight that drivers are going to be able to run pretty much all over the racetrack, and a lot of the experienced cars, looking at the cars from Project 2, AAIR, and with TNT Racing and 703 backing, as well as some of the RKC cars, I think those cars that really know how to use the tools are going to really benefit tonight. It all starts here in qualifying.
Yep, and we're waiting here. There we go. We've got everybody coming on in for qualifying. So who do we want to ride along with, Jared?
Let's ride along with Mina Dorsey. I'm really interested to see how Mina is able to do running with AAIR support, Albanian Gaming Racing. Really interested to see what this car can do sort of under the AAIR umbrella. AAIR, definitely one of the favorite teams I feel coming into tonight. So let's see what happens here. Mina Dorsey coming around to start lap number 1. You can see Mina rolling up through the gears. Let's see where Mina's going to choose. Mina's going to go with the high lane now. Looks like it's going to be right around the wall. Not a lot of wheel movement. Looks pretty good. Holding it in 6th gear. One thing to note, Matt, the wall effect here at Homestead is pretty strong. You can feel it in a stock car. I can't say how much you feel it in the Indy car, but that drag might slow you down just a little bit. We'll have to see what the timetable says as everyone logs their laps.
A good 25.930 there for Mina. after she hugs around the top lane. Looks like she's going a little bit more towards the middle here to get away from that drag you were talking about on the top line.
Definitely cut it down a little bit there, Matt.
Let's say we just need a strong exit here off of 4 and pretty clean. All right, really good, really good attempt.
Pretty clean 2 laps there for Mina.
Yeah, no, not too far off of the pole time of a 25.3, which Jared Dixon has just set. She's sitting at a 25.8. Wow.
Jared Dixon, the TNT Racing Grange Hall machine. You know, he's one of the guys that's pretty sneaky good on the ovals in the IndyCar. With the Grange Hall technical support for TNT Racing. Jared Dixon putting his name out there bright and early.
Oh, and that 43 Creed car is sponsored by Creed this evening. You love to see it.
Inspired by the real life Felix Rosenquist, number 60 MSR Honda. He'll coast it on down. Still the provisional pole sitter at this time.
Yeah, let's see if we've got anybody else out on track at the moment. We have a few people. Ryzen Baker out on track to start his first lap right here. Looks like he is going to swing it out wide and then come all the way down actually into turn 1 and 2, all the way down to the white line.
Ryzen's going to use the whole racetrack here. He's one of those guys that's been really good in the Fuel Premier Series. He's had a lot of good runs. Hasn't been able to quite finish out races just yet. I think the IndyCar might suit his driving style a little bit more. Let's see what the timetable says.
Ooh, currently, Ryzen Baker with a 25.530. That has him in 9th at the moment, but that was just lap 1. He's got the tires up to temperature now. Swinging out a little wider on the exit of 2 this time. Looks like going to come all the way down again to the white line and then start arcing out towards the exit of 4 to carry as much speed as possible. Cuts it down. Let's see what Ryzen is going to finish with. That moves Ryzen up to 2nd place with a immediately goes back down to 3rd as someone takes 2nd from him, but with a 25.403. Really, really nice improvement there.
Yeah, it's a solid improvement there for Ryzen. You know, I think he was one of the guys I kind of had pinned as this is going to be a car to watch out for. He's really aggressive. He's really good at managing the air. Ryzen Baker already working his way towards the top.
Oh, Zach Passon with a dramatic spin onto pit road there.
wow, Zach Passon, late Project 2 unsure entry. Excuse me, I should not name. Late Chevrolet. They pulled off the back of the truck, sliding into pit road. The Valvoline Circuit City ride.
All right, well, we got about 40 seconds here, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the grid, and, we'll be one step closer to the green flag. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Everybody is starting to grid up so that we can get this 110 laps at Homestead Miami Speedway underway. Your pole sitter tonight, the 87 of Nicholas Sudik, with a, if the timing and scoring literally just deleted all the time, so I was going to say, oh, it's on the screen, I'm stupid. 25.365 is going to be your pole time this evening. Sorry about that. The 43 of Jared Dixon on his outside, only a few hundredths behind with a 25.397.
And Matt, that's a TNT Racing with Grange Hall front row lockout. Chevy locks out the front row with Jared Dixon and Nick Sudik with TNT Racing. Now moving back to the second row, starting on the inside, the RKC number 77 of Rising and Baker unsponsored. And to his outside, the number 98, the Robillard Racing Bob's Wire Fencing Chevrolet of Jackson Robillard.
Right behind them, we have the number 9 of Zach Passon with a 25.442. And to his outside, Evan Adams in his favorite car in the series as well.
Moving now back another row on the inside, the 703 Racing Ford Epiphone machine of Will Roberts, and to his outside, the second AAR car in a row, it's Mike Hurley in the number 32, sponsored by KE Arms.
All right, and in 9th place, we have the 08 of Christian Kendall with a 25.494, with, I'm assuming, is another Sleep Token Chevrolet for him. And then to his outside, Hannah Woolham's making their premiere here in Fuel, the 25.509 in that number 17 car.
Moving back another row on the inside, the 02 of Connor Nixon, and in the 34, Matti Marcolini.
Mina Diorsi right behind them on the inside, and the number 89, followed by William Gregory, who did not post a time. And that's going to be it for the field. It looks like we are already going green here.
Pace cars down, Matt. The field works their way gingerly to the restart box. Sudik's going to step on the loud pedal. Green flag is in the air. The Fuel World Series is underway in 2025.
Ryza Baker with a really, really good launch there is able to get under the 43 and past the 43 of Jared Dixon.
Still going to be Sudik showing the way down the back straightaway, followed by Baker, followed by Dixon. Dixon looks to the inside on both Sudik and Baker. 3 wide for the race lead. Dixon with a big bobble. He'll slide back to third, and the rest of the field looking to pounce, but it's Sudik and Baker coming around to lead the field around the first time.
Jared Dixon just trying to get the car back under him. Is maybe a little bit too aggressive there for turns 3 and 4, but everybody seems to have gotten everything under control as Sudik's, actually Ryzen Baker trying to take the lead over from Nicholas Sudik in that 87 car. But there is Jared Dixon with the same move as last corner.
Jared Dixon with the slider, cooks it to perfection off of corner number 4. New race leader. Jared Dixon can take you higher, but here comes Sudik right back looking for the lead. The teammates fight into turn 1.
Nicholas Sudik going underneath that 43 of Jared Dixon, trying to take the lead back. And should be able to slide right up in front of that 43. We'll see if he takes that option or if he just stays right down below him.
Oh, he's playing nice with his teammate, Matt. Didn't want to take the air off his nose. He knows he's got Baker and Passon right in the wings behind him. Top 3 starting to break away here, but Passon rides in fourth. A good battle for the 4th spot behind him.
As we see the field starting to get a little more strung out already, just 4 laps in, as the leaders just continue to duel back and forth, cannot decide who wants to lead.
5 laps in here, and Matt, I think we got to ask the question, are these TNT Racing with Grange Hall teammates looking to fuel save here? Might be swapping positions, trying to make sure they each get equal time in the draft. Verizon Baker seems to be lifting off the throttle a little bit and lapping this toe up, saving some fuel.
Yeah, I would really recommend that. I think the math shows we're going to have at least 2 fuel stops. You're a little bit short if you go full bore the entire time. Only about 34 laps per tank, so you will need some fuel save to try to make it on just 2 stops.
First handful of laps in the books, and the Fuel World Series returns 110 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Single file down the back straightaway. It's TNT Racing with Grange Hall out front. A little bit further back, though, Zach Passon starting to pull away from Jackson Robillard. Then it's Evan Adams, then a clean breakaway in a battle for 7th with Will Roberts and Christian Kendall.
Yeah, Will Roberts and Christian Kendall, I know from experience, have a lot of laps together in the IndyCar. We ran together for many seasons in another league, a few of the past couple summers. So those guys have raced against each other quite a bit.
Something I'm watching right now, Matt, looking at the timing table as we start to shift our way towards the back of the pack. The AAIR cars towards the back of the field. Mina Dorsey, Hannah Williams, and Mike Hurley. I think they're all aggressively fuel saving. You know, anyone who's raced with Mike or has known AAR in the past knows that Mike is really good on the loud pedal, can really save some fuel. Mike can, they're only 3 or 4 seconds back. That's not a lot. If they can just stay in the draft here, save some fuel, and be nice on the gas pedal, they could make up some time here on these pit stops, be a little bit shorter with the fuel hose in the car, maybe make up some time and be able to push for the win. All 14 cars seem to have a competitive chance here.
Yeah, totally agree. I've raced against Michael a few times, actually, in an IndyCar series, and this guy knows how to save fuel. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you that. I've seen him save another 5 to 6 laps more than anybody else in a race.
Hurley going to slide on up in front. Good little nifty battle. Contact, and they're in the little wall. Looks like everyone's going to gather it up, but does Hurley have toe link damage?
Yeah, certainly, definitely more of a shunt into the wall that you'd be looking for in this car. These cars are very, very fragile. Ooh, as Michael Hurley tries to block Mina Dorsey from getting around him as well.
I think Mike's got damage trying to get out of the way. Just a bit of a miscommunication there between the Albanian Gang Racing 08 machine of Mina Dorsey and the 32 of Mike Hurley. Hurley's going to bring it to pit road. Looks like we got some trouble on the...
There's going to be a caution. Wow, Mike Hurley with a massive break. 2 cars. That is Zach Passon. And Ryzen Baker had flipped.
Oh, no. The race for third, Matt. Huge shakeup in the race. 2 of the cars in the breakaway up front get together out of turn number 4.
Zach Passon having to tow. I think both of his front tires were completely broken. Let's get the replay up and check and see what happened there. All right, as you see here, we got Ryzen Baker on the inside of the 9 of Zach Passon. Let's kind of see how it unfolds here.
Yeah, Ryzen is just creeping up, and Passon's kind of holding.
A little bit of net code. Just a tiny bit of net code, but I think they still would have. They still probably would have got together there. But man,
that's what.
Ryzen Baker with a Newgarden-esque tumble.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those accidents right there, Matt, where it's early in the race. I think a lot of people have fuel saving on their minds. Zach getting a little more comfortable. He's not traditionally an IndyCar driver. Had a good run 10 laps in, but there were good runs for Passon and Baker. Look like they're going to fall short here. Passon, look at that left rear, not spinning there. Some major rear end damage, probably terminal for the Circuit City number 9.
Yeah, I would totally agree. That left rear is completely broken off. That's definitely why he had to tow himself back. But we'll get back up here to the lead and live. Jared Dixon leading the field onto pit road, it looks like.
It's going to get interesting here, Matt. We talked about earlier how if you did not save some fuel early, it was probably going to be really tight to make it on 2. That's out of the question now, Matt. It's going to be pretty easy to make it on 2 stops here with a splash and go. Question is, will some cars take tires? I think a few cars in the back might elect to take a set now to try and improve their track position. One way to find out as the field works their way towards their pit boxes.
Totally agree. We're going to go on board here with the number 43 Creed Chevrolet and see exactly how this pit stop unfolds for Jared, as it looks like we actually have a good amount of people staying out as well. Just
not too surprising.
Just a splash of gas there for Jared Dixon in that 43 car.
Just a splash. He'll lead the field off pit road.
Looks like Nicholas Sudik also just a splash of gas. We got Jared Dixon in for 4.6, Nick Sudik 4.1, Jackson Robillard with a 5.1, so a little more fuel needed for that 98.
Is that Zach Passon out on the racetrack?
No, I think that was someone with a very, very similar scheme.
I've been
William Gregory
out.
in the 71 here.
Oh, William Gregory and Zach Passon running very similar Forsyth cars. I
Yes,
need
they
my
do. Yes,
glasses
very
checked.
similar.
Apologies for-
That's really close. It looks like the pace car lights are out. I think we'll be getting the green this time by. Evan Adams going to lead the field to green.
It's going to be Evan Adams, the AAIR machine, taking us down to the green flag. Single final restart. Evans on the loud pedal. A great restart and some trouble in the back. William Gregory gets into the wall. Looks like the TNT Racing Grange Hall cars might have been able to escape okay, but the field's down and away into turn number 1.
Christian Kendall got Evan Adams in his sights, going to try to get to the lead. Or is he just going to be happy sitting behind the 59 and saving some fuel? We'll have to see.
Evan Adams really trying to run away with this one, but Christian Kendall is all over the back of him, the sleep token machine. Looking to catch Evan asleep, looks down to the inside, nothing doing just yet. He'll pull up to the side pod, but the AAR machine really good on the top side.
Yeah, that 08 actually hanging strong, better than I thought on the exit there. The 59, not too much more momentum than the 08, so we'll see which line, if we get a long green flag run here, will prevail.
Evan's starting to use the air a little bit. You saw he was able to pin Kendall down to the bottom. Evan really opening up the corner. He's not going to use the air to block this time. Turns it back down the hill, and it's going to be Evan Adams still decisively over Kendall. Kendall looked to the inside. Evan Adams looking to try and hold him off, but Christian might have him here.
Yeah, Christian might have just enough there from that toe. He's going to try to slide right up in front of Evan, and he does, to try to come across the line and lead his first lap of the day.
How about someone we haven't mentioned all day as this battle for the lead goes on, running right or inside the top 5, Connor Nixon. He's kind of crept his way up in there. I believe he was one of the cars that stayed out. He's working his way forward.
Yeah, the 0-2 of Connor Nixon up here as well, trying to mix it up with these leaders. And so far,
and
looking pretty good.
Yeah, Connor Nixon is there. If this lead battle gets spicy here, we're going to have to see what happens. Connor Nixon might be looking at some lap leading bonus points.
Yeah,
Adams still working the top side. Kendall still working the bottom. Wide variety in the lines here at a very wide Homestead Miami Speedway.
It looked like Evan Adams there happy to just stay in line behind the 08. If this the 59 and the 08, if they start getting side by side, look for that 02 to just fly right past them.
Can already know, looking at the ticker as it scrolls by, the TNT Grange Hall cars starting to work their way up through the field. Jared Dixon and Nick Sudik already up to 6th and 7th. They've worked their way around Matti Marcomini, and now they're going to get around Mina Dorsey. Jared Dixon trying to claw his way back through the field. He's not too far behind where he left this race when he came into pit road.
Yes, Jared already up to 6th place in that 43 with Nicholas Sudik right behind him. Those two were the leaders before that yellow came out. They came down to get a splash of fuel to try to make sure they didn't have to do it under green.
Oh!
Looks like Connor Nixon trying to make the move here to take the lead and
wow.
lead a lap.
That was a really aggressive move, Matt. I thought we were about to have a huge accident at the front of the field for the second time in 20 laps. But Nixon's able to keep it down. Adams gives him the room, and Connor Nixon's going to lead a lap. Top 3 under a blanket into turn 1.
Yeah, Connor Nixon said, hold my beer. I am taking this lead. I want to lead a lap and try to control this race. The 59 there of Evan Adams looks to me like he is, honestly, after leading a couple laps, it looks like he's very happy to just sit behind and try to save some fuel.
Absolutely. He got a little high there, though. Got up into the marbles. That's gonna pull Christian Kendall right back up to his wing. Nixon looking to set sail. Looks like he's pushing pretty aggressively. These guys, all these cars that stayed out, still need to save just a little bit of fuel, but the TNT Racing Grange Hall machines of Dixon and Sudik can push pretty hard, and they're only about a second and a half back from the lead.
Yes, I was also going to say, if we could take a look at Will Roberts, somebody that is generally very, very aggressive. Looks like to me, Will's opting to save some fuel here. He's perfectly happy being about a second behind these leaders, letting them battle it out.
Absolutely. It looks like Will is off the throttle. Back on the throttle is Mike Hurley. He's rejoined the race. He's a lap down. Will need some yellow help and need some pace, but he's been able to repair the damage on that machine. So he will return to the field for AAIR running 11th. Looks like Hannah Woolhams, Ryzan Baker, and Zach Passon currently on pit road. Definitely unlikely to return for Baker and Passon. We'll have to see for Woolens, but something might have happened as well with that Patton while that Passon Baker incident was ongoing.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened to the 17. Looks to me like she has disconnected, so I think she's taken that number 17 to the garage. Connor Nixon still continues to lead up here with Evan Adams and Christian Kendall. Looks like they're getting a little more comfortable with riding in second and third. Not many pass attempts coming from the 08 or the 59 at the moment. But there's been a major breakaway between these front three cars. Nearly 2 full seconds back to now. Jared Dixon has looked like Will Roberts there. Maybe got a little bit loose off of turn 4. I hope Will didn't hit the inside wall.
Yeah, I think Will was able to get the inside wall, but that's going to slow the progress of some of these cars in the mid-pack here as they're trying to chase down the leaders. You know, you can make these gaps up pretty quick if you start pushing, but also you cannot let these cars get too far ahead. Changing the pecking order on the alternate strategy, Nick Sudik pulls out of Jared Dixon. Take the lead, effective lead on the alternate strategy if that becomes the prevalent strategy.
Yeah, Nicholas Sudik here starting to pull away from Jared Dixon just a little bit. You wonder if Jared may have had to get out of the throttle there to avoid Will. Not really exactly sure where they were in position there on the exit of 4.
Yeah, I imagine he had to jump out of the throttle pretty big there, even just as a precaution. Dixon's been caught up in a lot of unfortunate events in the Premier Series, in the Cup car, and the ARCA car going back to last season. He's definitely looking to start the World Series off on the right note, and if he has to lift to preserve a good points finish, I think he's going to.
Everything looking pretty good, though, for those of us that are still out on track. We're starting to string the field out just a little bit. So I'd look to see that this might be the start of a long green flag run. It looks like Christian Kendall there trying to make a move on Evan Adams to get up into second place.
Yeah, Evan Adams is going to do it. He's decided to turn the wick up just a little bit. He'll slide ahead of Kendall. We'll look at Connor Nixon, how much he stretched that lead out about 5 or 6 car lengths as they barrel into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, you got to think maybe Kendall here in the 08, not too happy about the gap that's now opening up between the leaders and these two cars, trying to get around the 59 to try to catch the 02 back up again.
I mean, something we got to keep in mind here as well is, again, Nixon didn't come to pit road. He's got to save some fuel. He's way out there all on his own. No tow to help. No tow off the rear wing from the car behind him to make that car go a little quicker in a straight line. Is he going to save tire? Yes. Is he going to be able to save fuel? I don't know. Battle for second rages on, but Nixon just continuing to stretch his lead as Kendall and Adams continue to swap places.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are going to get a little more tidy here. Looks like the 59 Evan Adams not challenging too much, allowing Christian to get past him. And because Connor Nixon has pulled out almost 1.5 seconds on these guys now.
Yeah, and for reference, I mean, 1.5 seconds is about the gap back from Kendall back towards Sudik and Dixon. So that's a pretty sizable gap, easily the largest gap we've had all race. It was nothing like this in the early stages of the race.
No, this is where you need to start stretching out a little bit and really try to search around in the track now that there's not a lot of traffic around. Try to find your line that you're comfortable running and try to save as much tire as you can while also trying to get a little bit of fuel save where you can. Absolutely. Like the entrance of the corners, things like that.
Absolutely, Matt. And one thing I'm kind of keeping my eye on as well is I'm watching the 02 car work his way through the corners, and I'm thinking he's getting a little tight on exit. He's really walking that car up to the top seam, and it seems like he's kind of having to pull it off the wall. Curious what his hands are doing because he's really good through the first part of the corner, but it seems like he's, especially in 4, he's really having to work to keep that car off the wall. We'll go on board with the 02.
Let's see what Connor Nixon is struggling with, if he is here. It might be starting to get a little tight because that gap has come down about 0.3 in the last 2 or 3 laps.
I mean, he's been pushing really hard. I think he's trying to get out front and run away and kind of deny the cars behind him the tow. But I think you can hear in the tone of the engine, he's really having to start to get out of it now on corner exit. That car, especially in turn 4, 1 and 2 looks okay, but in 4 you can see that car trying to walk up the racetrack just a little bit.
Yeah, for comparison, let's go back just just over a second here. We can see exactly what, well, you can really see the rubber here on the 08 of Christian Kendall, how much more he's been in dirty air compared to the 02.
Yeah, interesting that Christian's shifting as well. You know, leaving the car in 6th gear, a little lower RPM, some marginal fuel savings there for the 02 of Dixon, but Kendall running that car into 5th gear, you get a little bit higher engine RPMs, you're able to rotate that car just a little bit more. Obviously, you know, with iRacing, we can't see tire temps or the engine maps, but I would also suspect he's running in a little bit of a lower map as well, considering he's not really getting the 6th gear unless he's got some tow help from the 59 of Adams just behind.
Yeah, we should be nearing fuel green flag stops for these guys. We are here on lap 37. I was told that about 34 green flag laps is all you can do on a tank. So why don't we go ahead and get through the field real quick to get an update on these guys before they bring it down pit road. We got our leader here, Connor Nixon, started all the way back in 11th, made it all the way up to 1st, and has been in control of the race ever since.
Impressive run for Connor Nixon in the 02. He dropped back to Christian Kendall. Another impressive run. Cycled his way to the front on the yellow flag pit stops, but he was working his way up front well before that. A second behind and about stagnant behind the 02. 2 cars with the leading 0 leading the way.
Evan Adams with a really, really strong run, sitting currently in 3rd, only a second behind Christian Kendall. So it looks like these front 3 guys are starting to stabilize here. Started in 6th, so currently running good. Is Evan Adams actually the first one to come down pit road here? Yes, he is.
Yeah, Evan's going to blink here, Matt. I think this might not be a bad call. Locking it up, gets it slowed down, I think. So it'll be a tire stop anyway, so you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, I certainly hope so here. Let's see. We'll stay on board here with Evan for just a second, see if he's able to get into his box cleanly.
Interesting to note, Matt. I think this might be the good play. He's probably going to come out in clean air with fresh Firestones. Slides in the box a little bit, but it's a clean entry into the pit stall. Up on the air jacks. They're going to drop that car in a moment, and he's away.
Yes, really, really clean stop there from Evan Adams. Under 9 seconds in the IndyCar. That is what you want to see. An 8.7 second stop. Currently, he is a 1 lap down, but we'll see where he cycles out. Let's go ahead and get back up to the front of the field here with Nicholas Sudik, the first car on the opposite strategy.
Yeah, and this is where we're seeing everything cycle out as the rest of the leaders have come to pit road. I think Evan might have been the first one to get down there, but everyone else pretty quick to follow.
Currently, I see Connor Nixon and Christian Kendall still out there. Interesting.
Excuse me. I got confused. Yeah, but Sudik started on the pole as one of the fastest race cars here, running in 3rd, 4 seconds behind. He's going to gain more than that when these guys come to pit road, but Sudik will need to stop again. Difference for Sudik and Dixon is they're just going to be able to push just a little bit harder than the rest of these cars on the strategy. Looks like the 08's in.
Yeah, the 08 of Christian Kendall has come down pit road. We'll check in with him in just a minute. There's Jared Dixon, the 43 machine here, started in 2nd, currently obviously running in 3rd. Just on that same strategy as the 87 of Nicholas Sudik. Should be probably another 10 laps or so, I would think, before those guys need to come in. And then right behind them on their strategy as well, the 98 car. Got Jackson Robillard here, currently running where he started. Pretty clean race. You know, and when it comes to IndyCar on ovals, if we're not saying your name a lot, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you haven't had any issues.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, Jackson's bread and butter has always been consistency, but right on his heels is Will Roberts. Will looks like he's turning up the wick a little bit, looking for some clean air to get around Jackson. Started 7th, up to 5th, looking for a little more, but Jackson takes the air away, and Will's right up the racetrack. He's going to have to start over.
Yeah, Will's not going to be happy with that, especially after peeking in. But, you know, Jackson, he's where he's at because he's driven back up through the field to get there, so not trying to give away any free spots. The 34, Matthias, I'm sorry. I really, how is his name pronounced, Jared? I'm sorry.
Matti Marcomini.
Matti Marcomini. I'm so sorry, Matti. But the 34 here, the Matti Marcomini, started in 12th, currently running in 6th. Having a really clean race. I love the color of that car as well. Easy to pick out in the field. as he's being overtaken, I think, by fresh tires at the moment.
Yeah, pretty good visual of the difference in the tire delta right there.
We'll go ahead and we'll come back up towards the leader here as he is just now coming down pit road. 47 laps from the 0-2 of Connor Nixon. Wow.
That's an impressive stint, and that's what you want to see if you're on this strategy, getting to nearly halfway in the race and ducking in. He's going to have a lot of saving to do to make it to the end from here. Probably going to need one more, but a huge stop. This stop is potentially for the lead.
Nicholas Sudik back out front on the alternate strategy, followed by Jared Dixon. But Jared Dixon about 5 seconds behind the 87 car. So the 87 has pulled away on the alternate strategy here.
Yeah, and Dixon himself is about a second and a half at least clear of Jackson Robillard, who's got Nixon covered by a second as they ride right now as he comes out of the pits. So really interesting to see. Matti Marcomini is going to cycle up into the top 5. Mina Dorsey might cycle up in as well.
See where Jared Dixon is able to come out there. Or sorry, yeah,
someone just
Jared Dixon actually himself diving into pit road. I thought it was someone else trying to pass him, but it was actually him going down pit road.
Yeah, gotta wonder if he slid pretty late into the line there. I think he was okay, but we'll have to see if that car comes back down pit road. And Sudik as well.
Yeah, it looks like we've got everybody coming in to top off. I think everybody's pretty comfortable that they only need one more stop from here, even without a yellow flag.
Yeah, everyone who pitted pretty early and blinked early is going to need to do some saving. And first comes to my mind is Evan Adams. He was one of the first takers to come in. Able to get on the fresher tires, but he's going to need to save this stint and make some time up. Keep going. Nearing the halfway point in the Fuel World Series 110 at Homestead, Miami.
As we see Matti Marcomini coming in as well in the 34 car. This should be the last stop. Other than what I've got, Michael Hurley is the only other car out on track that has not come down pit road under green yet. So, and then Mike obviously going to be on an alternate strategy trying to fix. Oh, he's actually in the pit lane right now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Hurley's in the Open Medical Foundation unmanufactured AAIR machine.
And Hurley is away. Sorry about that.
Hurley's away. All good. Marcomini brings his 34 Chevrolet IIR Argentina machine in, and he's already away. He'll look to work his way up in the field. Thanks to a couple DNFs, looks like William Gregory is officially out of this one as well. A lot of cars starting towards the back, going to start to creep up here. Some good points day here. You know, interested to see what happens here, Matt. Field's getting spread out. I wonder with some of the attrition we saw earlier in the race, if some of these guys a little bit spooked just looking to ride right now. But riding way out front is the 0-8 to Christian Kendall.
Yeah, Christian Kendall with a 5-second lead on second place. Evan Adams at the moment. You can see the difference there. The gap is pretty massive. As Christian Kendall actually coming up on a lap car at the moment. Might give him a little bit of trouble with the dirty air.
And I think the smart point to Evan's play is, well, yes, he's going to have to save some fuel. Evan came out into pretty clean air and was able to use those fresh Firestones pretty aggressively. So now he can tune the car back as the tires start to go away, save some fuel, save some rubber, get to the end of the stint, and it's worked. I mean, he's ahead of the TNT cars.
Yeah, Evan with another, again, I think he was third place going into that pit cycle, so the 08 and the 59 both picking up a spot. So I'm not exactly sure what happened with Connor Nixon on pit road. He's lost quite a bit of time, 8 seconds off of the leader, Christian Kendall.
You know, watching Evan come into pit road, getting into pit road might have been a factor. He obviously locking up those tires, pretty aggressive entry into pit road. Seems to have worked. Doesn't look like anyone's had to come down to serve a penalty, but Evan's holding on to second right now. But boy, look at that machine of Nicholas Sudik, the 87 car, slowly but surely. He's got the hook out, and he's trying to reel him in.
And he's got 10-lap fresher tires than Evan Adams and just 7-lap fresher tires than Christian Kendall. So he's got aggression on his side here as he easily slides up in front of the 59 and is going to take second place. Now he sets his sight on
And
the
you-
08.
And Evan might be okay with that. Again, the 87 and the 60, excuse me, the 43, I'm thinking of IndyCar, for Jared Dixon. They're going to be able to push a little harder. They can use a little more fuel. They can use a little more rubber. For Evan Adams, might not be the worst thing in the world. Get in the toe of that 87 car, tune the engine back a little bit, find some clean air in the corner to not burn your tires off, and just
Yep,
ride here
follow
and
him.
enjoy the free
Try to follow the 87 to the front, actually. That's not a bad strategy at all. With the toe, he'll be able to pick up extra speed. And if that 87 car is that much faster, he should be able to at least stay within a second of him. The tire gap isn't too crazy.
Not too crazy at all. I would say it's pretty close, to be honest.
Yeah, Nicholas Sudik was able to get right up to the back bumper of the 59 and blow past him, but has not been able to pull away. Only a 0.2 of a second advantage.
Yeah, everyone's just chilling right now, it looks like. It looks like Mike Hurley's still fighting some damage problems on the 32. He has lost another lap. A really tough break for arguably one of the higher-ranked fuel savers in this series. Mike's got the pace to keep up with the field, but I've seen Mike fuel save before, and I know this was going to be a place where he was really going to be able to flex that big right toe and be nice and easy on the pedal.
But hey, still isn't the race still isn't over. You're looking at a solid top 10. All he has to do is just run the rest of the laps. So still some good points on the table here for Hurley.
Absolutely. I mean, Hurley getting in front of Ryzam Baker and Zach Passon. I don't know if Zach's going to win all the races. I imagine Ryzam will. So that's already a couple championship contenders he's ahead of. Mina Dorsey a lap down. Marco Mini, the last car on the lead lap. Things slowly starting to pick up here just a little bit. So we start to wind
Connor
past the
Nixon
halfway
is
point.
actually starting to lose a lot. He's bleeding a lot of time. He was just passed by the 98 of Jackson Robillard last time by on the front straightaway, and he's already 1.3 behind. I wonder if he's got damage, maybe hit the wall or something.
Does that car look loose to you, man? I'm watching that car
Yes.
go in the corner, and I'm seeing it shimmy. I wonder if he's knocked the toe out of it. Yeah,
that right
ooh,
front
ooh, ooh.
looks a little angled.
Yeah, I think he's hit the wall somewhere at some point.
Yeah, he's bleeding a lot of time to that 98.
Uh-oh.
2.1 behind now.
And the reason I'm groaning, if you're curious, massive lift at the center of the corner. You can hear it. Just
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, right
Look at
there,
how
right
it's-
there. He is so
it's-
tight. He is so tight and
Like-
loose off. You can see he's fighting it really bad right now.
Like for reference, folks at home, we were watching him hit the same RPMs in sixth gear, going a whole lot faster. So he is struggling. I mean, he's fallen almost into the green lights on the steering wheel.
Yeah, he's already 3.1
All
behind the
Red Bull.
98. Absolutely just bleeding time as the 34 is right on him to try to take this
And
position.
here's Marco Mini looking to pounce on the wounded Orbit Bear Drop Motorsports machine. He'll pull to the inside. I mean, he's just going to rip the stickers right off of it. And there's nothing Connor Nixon can do with that wounded race car.
No,
Marco
Connor not
Mini
even
will
fighting
slide
it.
the spot. And Nixon falls from one of the front runners in the top three to the last car on the lead lap. That
Yeah,
car
he's
looks like it's
he's
not
gonna need to
exactly
come in.
fast in a straight line either, man.
No, he's going to need to come in and try to fix it. It's going to be so much. He might go a lap or two down, depending on how much he's got to fix it. But it'll be a lot more fun to drive than it will be if he's going to try to stick it out for the second half of this race.
But you know who is having fun right now? Matt Christian Kendall. That lead over Nick Sudik, still 5 seconds. He's holding his own out there, just running the second seam, just clicking laps. Sudik's pulled a little bit away from Evan Adams, but that gap stagnated about 2.5 seconds, about an equidistant gap back to Will Roberts and Jared Dixon for the top 5. Robillard 6. Marco Mini 7th, we just saw Connor Nixon falls to the last car in the lead lap, and in the time I was just talking, he just lost another second. So Mina Dorsey and Mike Hurley surely got to be licking their chops here. A lot of racing left to go. Just shy of 40 more trips around Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a quick announcers break, but we're gonna give you guys a nice little turn it up here to enjoy some good engine noise. We'll jump back in if there's any incidents, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, jumping back in here.
Up here.
Sorry about that. Jumping back in, just we have a crazy battle for third here.
Yeah, we're both chomping at the bit to talk about it here. Will Roberts just got ahead of Evan Adams. Evan looking to the high line, not able to get it done. Will Roberts commanding into the third spot, and Evan's going to slide right in, back in behind him.
Yeah, maybe Evan trying to save some more fuel. He has to be because he's lost the back of that 87 car by over 5 seconds.
Who's that on the apron missing a left front wheel?
Yeah, that looked like the 0-2 of Connor Nixon, as he must have lost
Nixon
and absolutely destroyed the front of his car. I can't believe he's able to hold on to it as well as he is right now.
Yeah, he was on the warm-up lane in 1 and 2. I'm really curious what happened. The Orbit Bear Drop machine, we saw problems earlier. Maybe something just got a little bit worse. I'll have to take a look and see at some point, but man.
Yeah, let's check back into that third place battle. Oh, Evan actually into the wall there just a little bit here.
Oh, and you got to wonder, the sister AAR car looks identical, the 32. That contact ultimately put him 2 laps down with some damage. I think he hit it obviously a little harder and had some rear end damage, but this is not a cup car. You do not want to hit the wall, and Evan, a veteran of this car, knows that very well. But he's obviously, I don't know if he's saving anymore, Matt. I think he's trying to push to get back on the podium.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's got too much damage, as he hasn't really fallen back any further from the 2-car of Roberts there. Actually still able to get sucked right back up to the back, the gearbox of that number 2 with the toe down the front straightaway. So lucky there for Evan Adams. Lucky break.
Yeah, and Will was a little tight there off the corner. I think Evan might have something for him in a turn or two here. Watch that 2-car slide up the hill. Looks okay, but look at how much he's kind of having to pull it off the wall there. Apexing out just a little high. That's going to allow the 59 to pull right back up. Evan Adams to the top side for the 3 spot in the turn number 1.
And don't look too far behind him, but that 43 car is seeing everything he wants to see from these guys. He wants them to keep battling so he can get sucked up into this battle for third.
Yeah, and look not too far behind. It looks like that's
Will Roberts. They're trying diving onto pit road, almost losing it into the grass a little bit there, Will. Whoa, calm down, Will. Calm down a little bit,
still locking it up. Hey, he doesn't need these tires. Ooh, locking it up after the line. That's not good.
That is
we'll have to see if iRacing We'll have to see if iRacing's paddy whacked him, but the 2-car, the 703 Racing Machine, onto pit road for what's likely the final pit stop of the race. Big pit stop for the 2-car.
Let's see how his team is able to get him off pit road. He wants to be out under 9 seconds here. Oh, no. Yeah, really clean stop. 8.1. Did Will not take tires?
I think he took tires. That car went up on the jacks. I think it was just a good stop. He got into the box, didn't slide, was able to get out of the box, didn't spin the tires, so he's not going to have hot tires. Car looks stable coming back out. Good stop, and now Evan responds. 59's in.
Yeah, these guys absolutely battling it with everything they have. Evan saw the 2 come in, and he said, well, I got to come in now and make sure that I equal that. 8.1 on the stop for Evan Adams, so it's really going to come down to how quickly they got in and out.
Yeah, let's watch the blend here, Matt, as they come off the corner. Evan's going to try to wind it up, but there's Will Roberts already. Evan taking the real short way around as they come off the corner. It's going to be wing to wing down the back straightaway. Roberts with a huge run. Roberts will clear by a couple car lengths in the turn number 3. So Will Roberts gains probably about 1.5 to 2 seconds on a decisive final pit stop. Will Roberts to third.
Yeah, that's what a good undercut can do for you. With fresh tires, Will was able to push for a whole lap before Evan Adams was able to even come out on fresh tires. So that's what that undercut can do for you on ovals.
Well, let's keep in mind, this is for 7th and 8th as they race on the racetrack. This probably will be third once the pit stop cycle out. What no one wants to see right now, any of these cars that just pit, including Christian Kendall, a yellow. Any yellow throws their race straight into the dumpster. They'll get stuck a lap down, have to restart from the tail of the field.
It looks like Christian was able to come in and came out really clean on his stop, so we'll have to see exactly where he cycles out. He is currently 1 lap down and does not want to see a yellow.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he cycled way ahead. Yeah, the fact that Kendall's already that ahead was diving into turn 1 while Dixon was stopped. Good sign for Kendall's out here. 3 cars away, screaming up through the gears. The TNT Racing with Grange Hall teammate Nick Sudik. I think he's going to run the tank out here because your play is, the tires only take so long, but if you can get that fuel stop really short, less time on pit road. So Sudik, I imagine, trying to run that car almost out of gas, bring it to pit road, basically only needing a splash and a fresh set of Firestones and get right back out there.
Yeah, currently only 2 cars on the lead lap, so they would love to see a yellow right here. Between the 87 or the 34 of Marco Mini, they would love to see a yellow to get them to come down pit road, and everybody else would have to take the. Well, no, I don't think they'd. Yeah, they'd have to have a wave around. So,
yeah,
that's what they would love to see.
And these camera shots here, Matt, are really telling. Look at Marco Mini and look at Sudik, who we just saw. No cars around them at all. They're in clean air. They're going to run these cars out of fuel, come in for a quick stop, and hopefully come back out in the same clean air and push. Speaking of coming in, here's the 87. Your leader is on pit road.
Nicholas Sudik looking for a really quick stop here. Christian Kendall able to unlap himself after passing him on the 87's entry to pit road.
Nice and easy in here for Sudik. He's going to bring it into the box and stop the check marks. Marco Mini in. And here's Sudik. No slide. Good stop up on the air jacks. Looks clean so far. Looking for no wheel spin as he goes away. He revs it up a little wheel spin, but pretty good stop there for the 87. Wow, good
really
stop.
Clean. Oh, sorry. Of course, the light's right in the way for Marco Mini here.
Marco Mini just got on the jacks. He's away. A little wheel spin. Looked like a pretty good stop for him as well.
Yeah, under 8 seconds for the 34 as well. So really, really clean stops for these leaders.
And there's Christian Kendall, and we saw Nick Sudik take off a while ago. Nick Sudik probably diving down in the turn 3. It looks like Marco Mini running in that clean air might have made out like a bandit coming out way
Sudik
out there.
An 8-second gap between Christian Kendall and Nicholas Sudik here. 8.4, the official number.
Yeah,
actually
so I got
Will
lost.
Roberts into third.
Yeah, so I got a little lost there on the shots there. I thought Sudik had streaked out to a lead. No, he lost time, a lot of time, staying out there on pit road. Christian Kendall with an 8-second lead with about 23 laps to go. He just needs to keep it out of trouble from here and keep the tires under the car.
Yep, these guys can easily make it on fuel now. So all that 08 wants to see is the green flag for just a little bit longer. Only less than a quarter of the race remains here. So the 08 leading can definitely get the most laps led as well for that extra bonus point at the end of the race if he's able to finish it out with a win.
Kendall arcing away, but look at the ticker as they scroll back across. Nick Sudik's already closed in by a second. Hang on, it might not be over yet. We still got 20 laps to go. If Sudik can keep closing at that pace, we're going to have a dogfight to the win in about 10 laps or so. Will Roberts and Evan Adams still close together, and Jackson Robillard and Jared Dixon starting to join that fight. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good fight for at least the 4th spot as we wind down into the twilight hours of the Fuel World Series 110 at Homestead.
Yeah, really good battle here for fourth, actually. We've got Evan Adams, Jackson Robillard, and Jared Dixon all within a second and a half of each other. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Will Roberts, though, really, really excellent job. I think we were both kind of surprised he did not get a speeding penalty on that entry. But he's only 11 seconds back of the leader. So really good job from Will getting the most he possibly could out of the car there.
Yeah, that 703 Racing crew put the good brakes on that car. He was able to get it wound down and got it wound down pretty good. Maintains a 2-second advantage over Evan Adams, but Evan Adams only has a 2/10 advantage over Jackson Robillard. The battle for fourth heats up as they come to start lap 92.
Yeah, let's ride aboard. Ride along with the 98 at Jackson Robillard here, so you guys can really see the difficulty that Dirty Air provide, like what it does to these cars. You know, and if you don't know exactly what that is, when you ride behind a car, the air gets really disturbed, and these cars specifically are really aerodynamically dependent on having a lot of downforce. You don't get that downforce when you're behind somebody, so you'll see them wash up the track, and that can be hell on tires.
Yeah, speaking of hell on tires, listen to Robillard getting out of the throttle there. I think he might have used this stuff up a little bit. I mean, he is catching Evan, but I mean, he's starting to have to lift. You can hear the squeal on the onboard. He's not really loose, maybe a tick tight, but he's going to need that car to find some balance if he wants to reel in Evan Adams.
Yeah, really wants the teammate of Evan Adams here, Michael Hurley, just coming out of the pit lane. He's going to be up to speed and have 14 lap fresher tires than these two guys. So this isn't what the 98 wants to see right here.
No, last thing you want is another car right here, and here's where the Dirty Air's at its worst, about a car
Will
length.
Roberts into the inside wall.
Oh, no! Third place into the wall, and that may bring out a yellow. Not yet.
Currently, no yellow.
I think he's going to get off the racetrack. I think he's safely off the racetrack map. You know, it's not real life. We don't need to go get him, send safety to go get him. He's going to wheel that car down. And oh my goodness, now that battle between Evan and Jackson is for third.
That left front completely off the pavement there. Still continuing to try to rotate. Will needs to slow it down here to not go too fast because he's only got 3 tires.
Yeah. When this one's over, we're going to need to go take a look and see what happened to both Nixon and Will. Because I have a suspicion we're going to see very similar accidents. Both of them seem to have a problem somewhere in turn 4. And I'm going to assume the inside wall was involved because no left front tire for either car. And the 703 Racing team, well, they put good brakes on it. They're going to need another set of good brakes. Will Roberts probably done in the Fuel World Series 110.
Yeah, Will had a really strong night going, but he got 95 laps in. That's, I think Will will take it after not driving this car for quite a while.
And hey, good news for Mike Hurley, who we were just talking about as well. Another spot he's going to pick up with that wounded race car. That would put him to 8th. And, we talk about how difficult this race car is, Matt. We started with 14. Now we've only got 8 cars on the track running, so nearly a 50% attrition rate. These cars are hard, Matt. Sunshine on Homestead, abrasive surface, choose tires.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
In the corners. The low downforce package with the Indianapolis swings. Really easy to unload this car wrong, and this isn't a cup car, man. You lose this car, you're not saving it.
Yeah, I think it's very plain to see. These cars are one of the most difficult oval cars to drive, especially if you're used to driving stock cars. You cannot put as much wheel into these cars as you think in the corners, or they will completely unload. They'll spin out on you. They are a handful to drive, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in them on ovals.
And Matt, I think Jackson Robillard's open. His wheels are going to start turning a little bit faster. Jared Dixon has turned on the afterburners, and the Creed car's starting to belt its way up to the rear bumper. Robillard kind of losing the rear wing of Adams here, and the Creed to see what it can get done. Yeah, Robillard seems like he's struggling for the handling, and here comes the Creed machine, the TNT Racing Grange Hall machine. Jared Dixon looking to slide his way back up to fourth, almost slides into the wall, all the way up just to the edge of the marbles, keeps it going, but man, a barn burner race here for third.
Yeah, as we see Jared Dixon trying to get everything he possibly could off of the exit. As we are approaching this time by, it'll be 10 to go for Christian Kendall, but he has pulled that gap out to almost 6.5 seconds. This is really the most compelling battle
So-
right here for third place.
Yeah, I mean, Sudik's still catching him, but 6.5 seconds with under double digits to go. Kendall's basically going to need to hit the wall here for Sudik to really have an opportunity. Really good battle here, though. One mistake from Adams, he'll fall into the clutches of Robillard, and if Robillard fumbles once, he can fall into the hands of Dixon. And if they both tie each other up, Dixon's going to have a shot at a podium here.
That is exactly what Jared wants to see. He wants to see that 87 get next to the 59 to slow them both down and just pull them back slowly but surely back to that 43 car to try to have a shot at third.
And look at these different lines. I think Adams running the car has been running the car just a little bit freer on the bottom, getting it to rotate. I think Robillard trying to tighten that car up, and I think Dixon not quite sure what he's doing. He's kind of trying all kinds of different lines right now, just trying to find air, find time, get back up to Robillard. But right now it seems like things sort of settling out a little bit. I think Adams right now, as long as he keeps all four wheels on the car, looks pretty safe. Dixon, if he can find some clean air, might have something for Robillard, but I wonder if he used his stuff up.
Yeah, I was just looking at the times here. Jared Dixon falling back just a little bit from Jackson Robillard. About a second, actually, now back from the 98. So Jared Dixon probably pushed a little too hard there. I mean, the dirty air for him is going to be worse than the 98 behind these two cars. So he may have just overcooked that right front a little bit. Needs to let it cool off before challenging these guys. But he's going to run out of time here.
Yeah, and I think Dixon's kind of just trying a bunch of different lines here. And it looks like Robillard's found a step again. Well, look at that 98 just reel in the 59 on entry. He's losing him on exit a little bit. That's going to be huge for Evan. If we come to a side-by-side drag race to the line, Evan's going to want that center-off advantage to try and beat Robillard in a drag race. Drag race might come now. Here comes Robillard. He pulls within a car length.
Is only less than 2/10 back. This might be his best and only opportunity. Oh, as they get together, they completely take each other out. That is going to be a yellow. Huge incident.
No. Oh, no. Oh, man.
Oh, that is
Huge crash at the end of this one.
devastating
Looks
for
like
the
we're still
59
leading.
car. No, we've gone yellow. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the
All
ticker.
good.
Yeah, that's my fault. The ticker always needs to be manually put in yellow for some reason.
That was a humongous accident. Oh, man, you got to feel for both
Do we
of those
have
guys.
overtimes? I don't think. This might be the
This might be
race.
the end of the yellow. If they can get the field turned around and back to green pretty quick, maybe there's a chance of a race to the finish, but I think you might be right here, Matt. I think this might be the flag that ends the race, so to speak. Man, Jared
Yeah,
Dixon just snuck through.
I will have to double check. I guess, boo for me. I should have. But I guess we'll just assume we're going IndyCar rules here. So if they come down, maybe I know they shouldn't have any fresh tires, so they're going to have to stay out here. So we'll have to see. But definitely not what Christian wanted to see if we're going to have a restart.
We'll have to watch here for lights out. I think there's a non-zero chance here, Matt. Might be a green and white.
Oh yeah, definitely not then what Christian wants to see, especially if we've already got those cars off track. So who this does really help out though, the 32 car of Michael Hurley with early damage this race. If things hold, he can easily come back and finish in the top 6 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Mina Dorsey already up to 5th just by keeping all 4 corners on the car. And Mike's going to come around here, and he will pass Robillard and Evan under the yellow.
Yep, just gets past them now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's looking at a top 6 pretty much guaranteed tonight for that 32 car. That's why you don't give up. You keep chipping away at it. Chip away at it. You know, he had a little bit of a brush with the wall, but he got everything fixed and he kept grinding, and he's going to be rewarded for it tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely stick around, folks. We're gonna have quite the incident reel to look back on here once this one's over. But we need to find out what flag is this gonna end under. Is it gonna end under the yellow or end under the checkers? See what
We'll
the pace
know
car
this
lights
time
do.
by. The lights are going to have to come off this time if we're going to get a restart, I believe. Or we will, because I don't think they'll restart at the white. Do you?
Oh, they will.
Oh, the light! No, the lights
Like,
are off. Oh man! Oh, the lights
off.
are off, and the gloves are
Lights
about to
off.
come off as well because this is going to get crazy.
Oh man! And you have the teammates right behind Christian Kendall. Christian Kendall in the '08, kind of out here on an island on his own. He had it locked up. They wreck for effectively third at the time. Jared Dixon's up on the podium, and he's not just on the podium. He's up with a shot to win the whole race.
Yeah,
Three cars with real opportunity here, and if they get into some trouble, maybe Matty Marcomini, I mean, he's a lap down, but crazier things have happened before. All three of them.
Yeah, if they
they
have to
wanna
park
look out
the
for each
car,
other's
if there's
interests here.
Yeah, if there's an incident on these top 3 cars in turn 1, and they have to park, Marco Mini's looking at a top 3.
Yeah, he's looking at something pretty good here. One way to find out: the 08 machine, Christian Kendall, the sleep token Kendall Motorsports Toyota. Gonna bring him down. He'll creep to the top side. Pace car lights off. Ducks down to the safety
White
infield.
flag is gonna be out.
Kendall brings him to the restart. He fires. Green flag. White comes out together one more time around for the Fuel World Series at Homestead.
The 08 of Kendall able to get a really good start, though.
I think Sudik's got to run. He's going to make the draft down the back straightaway. Nick Sudik looks to the outside, looks to the inside. Here he goes. The green total driver down to the inside, and Sudik's got him. Clear by a car length as they come off of turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Matt, bring him home.
And the 87 car is going to do it. Nicholas Sudik with the win. Had him just where he wanted him the whole night. I don't know if Christian Kendall probably not going to be very happy with that, to be honest, but it was all fair from the 87 car, and the 08 and the 87 raced each other pretty fair there.
Oh, what a classic way to kick off the Fuel World Series here, Matt. A pure strategy race that completely gets thrown in the blender right at the end. Now, how about the TNT Racing with Grange Hall cars, the 87 of Nicholas Sudik, and the number 43 of Jared Dixon, able to capitalize on the start. And Christian Kendall, man, I mean, what can you say? He ran a perfect race. Christian did nothing wrong. I mean, you could see it through 1 and 2. Sudik just got a really good toe. Kendall, took as much racetrack as he could, but he did the noble thing. You left Sudik a lane, didn't take them both out, and hand a win to Dixon. And Kendall's still going to come home with a respectable finish. It's an impressive run, an impressive first race. And I think Christian Kendall just put the field on notice, Matt.
Absolutely. Sometimes that's how it goes in racing. It doesn't always work out. I hold your head high, Christian. You led the most laps tonight, and you sometimes that's how it goes, man. Sometimes that's how it goes. But yeah, congrats here to the 87 and Nicholas Sudik. Just had to stay ready, and he was ready to go on that restart. Did everything he needed to do. Christian Kendall, nothing he could do. It was inevitable. That toe is really strong on a restarts.
Yeah, I think honestly, hindsight's 20/20, but I think blocking to the bottom doesn't really give Kendall an opportunity to strike back. Like, you could go to the top, but honestly, I don't even think that works either. I think you just have an unstoppable force in Nick Sudik. He's experienced. He's run up at the front of Indy Open. He's almost made the iRacing IndyCar Pro Series. Like, he has that experience, especially on the ovals, especially these big ovals. And, when you're going up against a guy like that, you put him in a situation where he needs to step up to the plate. He's going to do that every time. It's not like Christian didn't, but, kind of a lame duck there. You're starting on the pole, no toe.
I think that 08, he did everything he could do. And I think that's just how the chips fall sometimes, especially in racing. But I got a lot of respect for that 08 racing the 87 the way he did and not taking them both out, though. Because I know a lot of people would not have been as poised under the same circumstances.
Yeah, I think we've seen some of that over-aggression today. It's manifested at a couple points of this race. Cars just coming together early in the race, at the midpoint of the race. Really easy to step over the line in these machines, and we proved that tonight. But excellent start to the Fuel World Series, I must say.
Let's go ahead and we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, our winner, Nicholas Sudik, will be in the booth with us to give us, I guess, his opinion or his perspective on what went wrong or what went right there for him. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everybody, we're back here at Homestead Miami Speedway, and we have your winner, Nicholas Sudik, here joining us. So, how's it feel to get the win tonight here, man, at Homestead Miami Speedway for the return of the Fuel World Series?
I feel bad. I feel like I kind of stole that there, but yeah, Christian ran a really awesome race. I, I it's kind of the nature of Miami in this car for everybody to get draft locked after like 10 or so laps of on the tires, unless like some weird.
Oh, sorry about that, everybody. Oh, I apologize. I was trying to pull up the replay. Sorry about that.
Womp,
No,
womp, womp.
that was on me. I'm sorry. So Nicholas, you said you were not feeling all that proud about that win. I apologize.
No, it's all good. I mean, one lap shootouts, yeah, it's a different beast, but like, it's especially when you can get such a run so quickly with the aero package that we have here, and just the nature of the track too. It's kind of a guessing game, and I guessed right because I had a feeling he was going to try to hold that middle since I was running middle all night, and I just decided to shoot really low, and thankfully my right rear was cool enough to hold on there because I almost ate it once or twice because I was trying to push to catch Christian there, but props to him, great race. Props to Jared Dixon, like I was saying when we were muted there. Friend, teammate, colleague, helped house me at the real life Indy 500. So thank you, buddy. And I'm sure he's gonna ask you, but in this series, technically we are owned by your co-broadcaster here. So how does it feel to be a good team owner there, buddy?
It feels pretty good, Nick. And one of the things I was going to ask is, funnily enough, I've had zero involvement with anything leading up to this.
None.
Let's talk about strategy, Nick. Obviously, you and Jared elected to take the freebie pit under the yellow for Zach Passon and Bryson Baker, which I think really is kind of the inflection point for the race. Everything that we saw happen and all of those laps up to that point kind of diverges from there. Two of the top contenders go out right away. You guys take the free pit stop. What's the theory there? Like, you guys are going to be able to come in and take a flash of fuel, splash of fuel, sure. But you guys are also coming straight. You guys are coming straight back out into dirty air as well.
Well, I was able to manage my tires. Like, my thought was like, okay, I was one of the few people that could consistently run the low line. So especially like I really babied my tires that first part of that stint. So I just topped off the fuel, hoped that. Because we would have needed fuel regardless. I thought, I guess not, but it would have been a little too close for me. So I just had faith in my talent and decided to take a little splash, save the tires for later, and I mean it made the race a lot more fun, in all honesty, rather than sitting like P1 through 4 the whole race. But yeah, I mean that was the idea, was just to kind of save time on that last fuel stop. But it ended up the way the race worked out, and the way the new tire model really, like I said, I mean I was expecting to get draft locked a little bit, but the way this new tire is on ovals on this car is just, I don't know, it's a little different. It's very easy to get stuck. At the same pace as somebody, especially on a track like this. So, like I said, it was a little bit of a gamble. I thought it was a safer bet, I guess, than staying out. But yeah, no, like I said, it just kind of one of those coin flip deals.
Well, Nicholas,
Yeah,
congrats on the win.
seems like it worked out.
Yeah, I was gonna say it did. It
Yeah.
definitely worked out. Congrats on the win. Is there anyone else specifically? I know you thanked your old team owner Jared here, but is there anybody else you want to thank before we bring your teammate up here for a chat?
Yeah, shout out to my larger organization that I run open and leagues and whatnot with, and I help the setup builder, my boy Hamilton, with Fiercely Forward and P1 docs with that have a lot of really awesome setups. I don't like shilling for setup shops, but they are the real deal when it comes to anything on the road side of things, or especially IndyCar. We got one of the best builders and support behind him. Maria, my girlfriend right here, and Dobby, our cat, who's sleeping somewhere.
Oh, I love that. Thank the animals. Dang right.
My parents, because my dad usually watches. I just did this on a whim about 30 minutes before it went live because I forgot about it. Shout out to Will Roberts for putting this back on and inviting me in haste. So I appreciate him and you guys for putting together a pretty quick broadcast, but I'm sure it had really good amount of insight too, especially with Wakefield in the booth and your talents as well, Matt. So thank you guys.
Oh yes, my talents for sure. But no, I want to thank Jared as well for being here. But we'll go ahead. We're gonna bring up the other Jared Dixon, real quick. All right, Jared Dixon, your third place finisher this evening. How did that restart look from your perspective there, Jared?
Ooh, for me, I definitely didn't get the jump on the restart at the end.
Mhm.
I just timed the jump very poorly, and it gave me about a half-second gap to Nick in second.
So let's talk about what led up to that restart, because you had a pretty eventful race. What on up front? You go on the alternate strategy with Nick, take the splash and go, kind of bounce up and down the field, settle out, pretty good spot. Looking at it easy, pretty comfortable top 5 finish, and then that happens in front of you. What was your perspective of the Evan Adams Jackson Robillard incident as they went into 3?
So I'm gonna keep it very kosher. I'm just happy that I was able to drive around that wreck.
Yeah, it looked pretty
Because-
close.
Yeah, on my screen it looked like I drove between the two cars because Jackson was coming down the track pretty quick, but Evan was staying up high. I'm very lucky I got to shoot that gap.
Hey, luck.
But
What did Richard Petty say? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
I mean, that's a lot of what happened in that race for me. In hindsight, I probably wouldn't have gone on the alternate strat because my car, once I got in dirty air, it didn't handle quite as well as some of the other guys in dirty air. I stalled out about 8/10 of a second back from anyone, just because the push was so bad from my car. So definitely being up front would have been the move for me. I wish I had known that a little bit better, but I mean, the fact that I pretty much run one IndyCar oval a year and it's the 500 in May, I'm not upset with a P3.
Yeah. Well, I
Hey,
want to say.
brought the-
Go ahead, Jared.
4
No, you go ahead.
corners. Brought the car home in all 4 corners, and that was kind of the storyline of tonight's race. Was a lot of attrition. Seemed like a lot of people fighting tight or loose race cars. So, nice job at the top 3, bringing it home safe.
Yeah. Is there
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, congrats, Jared, on the top 3. That is a podium. We do celebrate those in IndyCar. So, congrats. Is there anybody you want to thank or anything else? Any final thoughts on the race?
Well, I'm in a weird position with how our team's laid out. My team owner was up in the booth with you, Matt, and my driver won the race with Nick. So the fact that we got 2 really good finishes, I'm hoping Nick can run most of the season because that would be very good for us. But it's great to move on to Long Beach after this. and hopefully get a good run there. I'm a little bit more suited to road courses and street courses in this car.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see how you guys get around Long Beach. That is going to be a fun one. So, yeah, there's a little teaser for what we have next week. But, yeah, thank you guys. Congrats again on the win, Nick. And congrats on the third place, Jared. And, well, I guess hopefully we'll see both of you guys next week.
I know I'll be there.
Yeah, any final thoughts for them, Wakefield?
No, I mean, excellent job, boys. Great run. Exciting way to kick off the Fuel World Series season. Turn of Fuel is quite exciting tonight.
I have a race champions request for you real quick.
Sure.
Speaking of
Yeah.
animals, can you please be sure to give Big T and Miso a nice pet for me from the winner today?
Understood. I'll do that
Yes.
once I return
Thank
from
you.
Des Moines.
Thank you. Please do that as soon as possible.
Edict has been issued.
All right. Well, congrats again to Nick and Jared for really good finishes this evening to start the season off really strong here for the Fuel World Series. Jared and I are going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring up a couple of those incidents we weren't able to go back and look at before we get the final results and we preview next week. So we'll be back here in just a minute. All right, everybody. We got Will Roberts' incident here. It looks like to me he was kind of running the middle lane here of on the exit of turn 4. And did he have to look away from his screen for a second? Will, what the
What?
I'm very confused,
Ooh.
Will.
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Let's take a look at the
onboard.
onboard. I'm really curious
Yeah.
to see what his hands do here. If we come off at 3 and 4, okay.
I think he had to look away for a second. Oh no.
I think something happened off screen, and he got caught out by it, and he yanked the car to get it off the wall, and he lost the car there, and bam, pow. And there's a tub for the 703 racing team. A lot of work to do at the shop before they go to Long Beach. I feel like
I don't want to hold it there on Will too long there. So let's go and check out what happened. That was between the 59 of Evan Adams a few laps later for that last yellow. So give us here just a second. We'll be right back again. Alrighty, so here with about, so what was it? I think it's 7 to go here. So lap 106 or 103 in there somewhere. 105, I think.
handful to go. End stage of the race.
All right, so let's see exactly what was going on here between the 59. Evan Adams had the position, and the 98 of Jackson Robillard wanted it.
So we heard Nick Sudik talk about draft lock, and at this point, like, Jackson's broken the draft log. He's about 2 car lengths back. He's got a huge run. You can even see it in slow-mo how huge this run is. He's closing about half a car length every half second here. Makes a late move to the inside, and there's room there, clear, and Evan, I think, just didn't see him and caught the move late. There was room for Jackson to go down. Just kind of one of those unfortunate deals. It was an aggressive move by Robillard, but a clean move. And I think it just went unsighted by Adams until it was too late. We're going 200 plus miles an hour here into the corner. Watch at full speed.
Yep, I think you diagnosed it perfectly there. I don't think nothing malicious there from Evan Adams. I think that was just Evan setting up, not thinking the 98 was going to lunge there.
Yeah, I mean, that is an aggressive move, and I think that's a really good move, but also, a handful to go in the race. We're racing for third. Everything to lose in these cars if something goes wrong. Not to be super critical, I think ultimately at the end of the day, the 59 comes down, but the 98 also needs to think, hey, I can run the middle or top here, get some clean air, get even closer into 1 and 2, and probably have the move done on the straightaway before getting into turn number 1.
Yeah,
but that's 2
totally agree.
Race cars.
Totally agree. I think, honestly, kind of a racing deal, maybe just a little bit of inexperience from the 98. I'm not sure how familiar with the Indy cars Jackson is, but yeah, it's just a late move. I would say not necessarily unfair by the 98, but just really aggressive.
I think it's justified. I think Jackson, obviously we had seen him kind of get stuck behind Evan earlier, and Evan seemed to be losing pace just a little bit. And obviously Dixon's there. Dixon got close enough to Robillard to make a move, so he's motivated to make that move. And I think that kind of sets the dinner table for what happens here.
Yeah, I agree. We can get a really good shot of it here. The chopper just happened to be in a really good spot. So yeah, I think honestly that's just a mix of Evan trying to set himself up well to take the bottom there to try to aero block the 98, not thinking he's going to lunge. That's how I'm seeing it. But that's just sometimes that's IndyCar racing here. That's just how it goes sometimes. It's mostly a racing deal in my view. I don't think anything was intentional there from either one of these guys.
No, nothing at all.
But real unfortunate for the 59. Evan Adams and Jackson Robillard both had a really good race going up to that point. But these guys they'll live and learn. We'll have to see if the 98 tries anything like that in the future, knowing maybe this other driver is not going to be able to see me or react quick enough. So you got to keep that in mind in these cars. You're going about 200, as you said, going into the corner there. But either way, I think that was a good race. Good race to start off the season with. Very eventful, crazy finish for sure. So let's go ahead, though. Let's get through the final results. Our winner tonight, Nicholas Sudik in that 87 car, followed right behind by Christian Kendall. A strong race from Christian again, showing that it's only a matter of time until he can get a win here at Fuel. Jared Dixon coming home third in the 43. And then everybody else, because of a lot of different strategies playing out or some incidents happening, we had Mattia Marcomini there in the 34 car coming home in fourth. Mina Diorsi bringing it home in fifth after a really early crash.
Big shout out to a lot of the cars finishing fourth, fifth, and sixth, and Matti, Muna, and Mike. Hurley, Dorsey, and Marcomini, they faced adversity at one point in the race together, either in the way of broken parts, some issues getting out on the pit road or whatever, but they will persevere it out, and their perseverance was rewarded. Two of them come home in the top five. Hurley's able to salvage what looked like was going to be a day to forget for the 32 AAIR team. He's able to turn it into a 6, and that's going to be a pretty good point stay. It might play a huge factor at the end of the season.
Absolutely. That 98 car, Jackson Robillard, still able to bring it home with a solid 7th place, so a good points day for him. Evan Adams in 8th in that 59 car. Both of them, after getting tangled up, finishing 5 laps down. Will Roberts with an interesting I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't want to speculate too much. But a shunt to the inside wall kind of ruined Will's night. And then the 0-2 of Connor Nixon as well after hitting the inside wall. 40 to go or so ended his night, finishing 10th.
Yeah. And, 9th through 14th here, Matt, really kind of just tells the story of this race. Will Roberts has his moment with a handful to go, almost brings out the yellow. That opens up third. That sets up the Robillard Adams crash near the end of the race. William Gregory was running inside the top 10, seemed to have some kind of issue and ended up disconnecting a tough break for the driver of the 71 machine. Hannah Woolham's making their Fuel debut with some problems. I believe crunched the car on pit road, it sounded like, per the driver's reports after getting out of the car. So a tough break for the 17 machine, but ultimately now scratch on the scoreboard. 10 laps in, really, where the butterfly effect begins for this race. Huge accident involving two of the fastest cars in the field, Ryzan Baker and Zach Passon. I don't think either of them are going to be happy with that. We'll see. I imagine we'll see Zach at the Ovals. I don't know if we'll see him in Long Beach, but I imagine Ryzan's going to be looking to make that up as we head to the streets of Long Beach next week.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited. We're going to get our first road course race of the season. So, before we preview that, I'm going to say anything else, Jared, from you, because I don't think I have the Discord audio on that. So, well, before I send it out, let's go ahead and get our last thoughts here from Jared. Before I send you out, thank you for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure, and I appreciate your insight and your ability to do play-by-play. So thank you for joining us and helping us make the broadcast even better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as long as my internet cooperates, looking forward to staying on the racetrack Wednesday nights, but also looking forward to spending some time with the microphone in my hand on Thursday night. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to get back up here. I mean, what is there to say? What a start. This race had a little bit of everything. We had attrition. We had some huge moments, huge accidents, especially into the turns 3 and 4 end of this 1.5 mile super speedway. And a great finish. Nick Sudik able to get around Christian Kendall, who dominated all race, played the chessboards right. Oh, Nick Sudik walked up and just flipped that chessboard right over, didn't he, on the final lap? Only one of them pays the bills, and Nick Sudik was able to snatch that envelope right out of Christian Kendall's hand. He comes home a winner. But Christian Kendall, man, I think he's put this field on notice, and hopefully, a few more cars pop out for Long Beach. But, man, just overall successful debut for the Fuel World Series. Welcome back. Welcome back, IndyCar, to Fuel. And what a way to do it.
Yeah, super excited about having IndyCar back and welcoming the World Series back here at Fuel. So thanks to everybody. Thank you, Jared, for joining me. Let's go ahead and preview what we got in store for next week and the rest of the season. So as you can see here on the right side of the screen, Fuel World Series. Well, we started here in Homestead Miami Speedway this evening, but next week we're on the streets of Long Beach. So we're heading out west to California for 40 laps around the street circuit there before the following week heading to Indianapolis for our equivalent of the Indy 500 here at Fuel for 100 laps around Indianapolis. So that will be a great time as well. We got after that, we're following that up with Iowa, 150 laps at Iowa. Then our second road course race of the season at Portland International Raceway for 45 laps. I love that track. I cannot wait to call that race. That is going to be a blast. And then we're going to the 2-miler up in Michigan at the Michigan International Speedway for 125 laps. And then we're going to have our last road course of the season with a fast Watkins Glen International over 50 laps around Watkins Glen. And then we're going to wrap the season up in Nashville at Nashville Super Speedway for 127 laps. So hopefully you guys will join us here if you're not racing. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday for the next edition of Fuel Premier Series. And then we'll follow that up with Long Beach on Thursday night. So we'll see you guys next week. And everybody have a good week.